Today our chapter of discussion is religion. Today we are going to have class only till 12 o'clock. Okay. Till 12, right? So religion. Now when we look at religion, there are only, in fact there is only one area which is constantly repeated. That is approaches to religion. This is one area. The second area that we see here as part of religion, which is again might be asked, is the religious specialists. Now we can expect this because we are going to have 5-year anniversary. In 2019 we had this question. Religious specialists in 2019 we had, so probable in 24. Because it's been quite a while that they haven't asked this particular topic. So probable, right? Now one additional version of this is, that is where that was asked with respect to writes the passage. Writes the passage, right? Van Gennep's concept of writes the passage. And one more, they can go for tribal religions. Tribal religions. And I was referring some question papers from 1990s onward. There was one question with respect to types of taboos. Types of taboos, right? So we will look at those particular dimensions in this context. Okay. First is approaches to religion. In approaches to religion, the first approach is evolutionary. Evolutionary. What is the evolutionary theory, my dear, here? It says that whole of the religion evolved in a sequence. The initial aspect they say is animism, right? Who gives this? E.B. Taylor. E.B. Taylor talks about this. Then animatism. Animatism is given by R.R. Marett. R.R. Marett. Then naturism. Naturism by Max Muller. Max Muller, right? Then totemism. Totemism by majorly whom? Emile Durkheim. Emile Durkheim, not Fraser. Emile Durkheim, right? Different perceptions on totemism is there. You see psychological approach, functional approach, those dimensions are fundamentally present on totemism as well. I'll discuss those also. Okay. But majorly the theory of totemism, the totem as a phenomena was fundamentally by Emile Durkheim. Okay. So now, and apart from that, from there you see the monotheism emerging, and monotheism by Schmidt and Lang. Now these people fundamentally talk about monotheism. Now hope all of you know the basic concepts of this, right? Animism fundamentally deals with anima, that is soul, right? And it is seen that soul is all pervading. Now even after the death, it is believed that soul doesn't have death and it is present in all other regions. When I look at animatism, it fundamentally talks about any object has power. Any object has power. A similar concept was seen with respect to Bongaism. This was studied by whom? Majumdar. D.N. Majumdar studied Bongaism in this context, right? And this animatism is with respect to what, my dear? Mana. Manaism, Bongaism or animatism. All these are very similar with respect to this. Then, when I look at naturism, it talks about nature is animated. It talks about nature is animated, right? And it can have or it can be the cause for both good and bad. Good and bad, right? You can talk about sun worship, you can talk about tree worship, any of this. Okay. Then the emerged version again that we see is totemism, where we see where a totem is a symbol which is revered, or a totem is an entity which is revered. And majorly, totem has an ancestral connection. Ancestral connection. And that society perceives that everybody is a lineage of that particular totem. But whereas when I look at the concept of ancestral worship, I see that the concept of ancestral worship fundamentally comes from animism. Please remember this. The concept of ancestral worship fundamentally comes from animism. Why? Because I see the soul as a concept and it is to be living into eternity. That is what is one fundamental understanding with respect to this. Then, the second approach that we majorly see in the context of this is psychological approach. Psychological approach by Sigmund Freud, right? Freud Goutham, right? Sigmund Freud, right? In the book Totem and Taboo. Totem and Taboo. In the book Totem and Taboo. And the psychological approach majorly is for what, my dear? To ensure societal stability. To ensure societal stability and structure. To ensure societal stability and structure. And it also talks about incest, taboo, and it fundamentally talks about thought of repentance and violence. Thought of repentance and violence. The whole story is what? That when you look at the theory, that it was believed that the children had killed their father. Because always there used to be a conflict, always there used to be a competition for women. So in that context, it was perceived that the father had become all pervading, all powerful and was occupying the women. And the children or the boy child had, or the children got together and they killed the father. And as a thought of repentance, they are revering or they are considering a particular symbol as a representation of this father and they are revering that particular symbol. That is a kind of psychological approach, right? They face that guilt always. In order to get over the guilt, they start worshipping their father, right? Because they have killed. So in order to get over that particular guilt, they start worshipping. That is why they say it is thought of repentance and violence, right? So that is one thing that you will have to understand. Next, functional approach. Now when you look at functional approach, we see in the context of functional approach, majorly two people. One is Malinowski. Now in the context of Malinowski, he says it reduces anxiety. It reduces anxiety. It helps you get through crisis. It helps you get through crisis. Withstands life-changing events. Withstands life-changing events. Next, magic. Magic is to purge the human mind. Magic is to purge the human mind from fear and emotion. Is to purge the human mind from fear and the emotion. Next, Radcliffe Brown. Radcliffe Brown. Religion is culturally required ritual activities. It is culturally required ritual activities. It ensures group safety and security. It ensures group safety and security. It is free from anxiety. It is free from anxiety. It is to ensure to be free from anxiety. right? Now whenever you are writing importance, now whenever they are asking you approaches, please ensure that you are including the importance of religion also. Whenever I am writing the importance of religion, I will definitely divide into the sacred importance and the secular importance. The sacred importance and secular importance. Now what is the sacred importance? Write down. It is a moral code. It is a moral code. Next, verbal demonstration of belief. Verbal demonstration of belief. Next, promotes religious outlook. Promotes religious outlook. Under secular dimension, it ensures unity. It ensures unity. It promotes, or it is organized. It is organized and ensures complementary segmentation. Ensures complementary segmentation. Next, if they are asking upon totemism in specific. लिख लो यार. You can write. I am not giving an exhaustive list, right? But what I am mentioning is mandatorily to be put in the paper. Rest your creativity, right? Right? Say it enables me to marry boy belonging to the same or girl belonging to the same. लिख लो कुछ. Anything you can write, man. You have all the creativity. ठीक है? Please. That means, now first up, I'll give you a simple practical example, right? The day of the result, if you would have seen my face, from here to here all sorts of sindoor was there. Why? Because at least इस बार list में आ जाए नाम, right? That means what am I considering? I am considering that if I go and sit in temple, I am free from the anxiety of my result. The first thing that we do after writing mains is visit all the possible religious shrines. ఇంకెవరైనా శుద్ర పూజలు చేస్తారంటే కూడా చేపించేస్తాం. అంటే ఫస్ట్ అటెంప్ట్ సెకండ్ అటెంప్ట్ మెయిన్స్లో అలా ఉండదు, కానీ ఫోర్త్ ఫిఫ్త్ సిక్స్త్ వచ్చేటప్పటికి ఈవెన్ అన్ అథీస్ట్ విల్ స్టార్ట్ వేరింగ్ మాలాస్, విల్ స్టార్ట్ డూయింగ్ పూజ. పాసిబుల్ ఆల్ ది రిలీజియన్స్, రైట్? కడపలో ఏదో దర్గాకి వెళ్తాడు, రైట్? వేలంకని మాత దగ్గరికి వెళ్తాడు, రైట్? అక్కడ అరుణాచలం వెళ్తాడు. ఇదంతా ట్రిప్పు. ఏం ట్రిప్పు? స్పిరిచువల్ టూరిజం. నడుస్తుంది యాంగ్జైటీ, రైట్? ఎందుకు ఎగ్జామ్ రాసే రోజే నీకు దేవుడు గుర్తొస్తాడు? ఎందుకు? ఏ రోజు దండం పెట్టు, ఎగ్జామ్ రాసే రోజు మాత్రం పొద్దున్నే లేచి సాంప్రదాయాన్ని అన్నట్టు దీపం ఒకటి. ఎందుకు? యాంగ్జైటీ, రైట్? బ్యూటీ ఆఫ్ దిస్ సబ్జెక్ట్ ఈస్ ఐ సీ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఇన్ రియల్ డే లైఫ్. I understand, I will have to understand the core concept. Marriage, should somebody tell you? Everybody will be telling you to marry if you are 25 plus, right? Now I almost stopped calling my mama, but that doesn't happen. If I don't call, she will call. Now what is the first thing? ఎప్పుడు చేసుకుంటున్నావు? My immediate answer is నువ్వు ఎప్పుడు చేస్తే అప్పుడు. Throw, fake, right? So that is common. Family. Should somebody talk about relatives? Filiation and complementary filiation, kinship. Are you understanding? Beauty of this subject is that. ठीक है? Next, totemism. It is a collective belief. It is a collective belief of descendants from ancestor. Of descendants from ancestor. It is collective conscious of the group, as stated by Immanuel Durkheim. Immanuel Durkheim states that it is the collective conscious of the group. Next, in Aruntas, they considered Churinga as the clan ancestor. Churinga as the clan ancestor. Churinga is nothing but a wooden plank or a stone slab. Churinga is nothing but a wooden plank or a stone slab. Next. Fraser believed in conceptual theory of totemism. Bush soul theory, and cooperative theory. Next, Tyler states that soul takes abode in species. Soul takes abode in species. See, Taylor's phenomena is revolved around soul always. Next, Herbert Spencer states it is the misrepresentation of names and nicknames. Next, Schmidt and Hutton. States it is a ceremonial discipline. Schmidt and Hutton states it is a ceremonial discipline. Right? Next, totemism is variety of special relationship of group. Or individuals with totem. Next, significance. It is a psychological outlook. It is a complex of belief and practices. It has a mystical relation. Next, it is belief of ancestors. It's a symbol of respect, reverence, and worship. Next, taboo. Taboo కాదు, taboo. Head on. Fraser states it is a designated restriction. An unwritten law, and a negative element in religion, It is beneficial if under control. It is beneficial if it is under control. And a belief in dangerous supernatural powers. And a belief in dangerous supernatural powers. R.C. Brown states, it's a ritual avoidance. It's a ritual avoidance and a rule of behavior. It's a ritual avoidance and a rule of behavior. Sigmund Freud states, it's an act of repentance. It's an act of repentance and a product of common conscience of guilt. And a product of common conscience of guilt. Types of taboo. First, food taboo. Food taboo. Right? Certain tribes do not consume salt. Certain tribes do not consume salt. Food taboo. Next, sex taboo. Sex taboo. In bracket you write incest. Incest. And in certain societies, even during lactation period, you are not supposed to have sex. That even in certain societies, during lactation period, you are not supposed to have sex. Next, a religious taboo. Religious taboo. It is to protect the prestige of a sacred person or place. It is to protect the prestige of a sacred person or place. Now, one common thing is, one common belief. Can somebody tell me what is religious taboo? One common belief. That is not a taboo to a larger extent. Maybe a taboo, but that is more of a social control mechanism or societal setup. And you don't enter your religious place without having bath. Yes, ala helte papam vastadi. That's a kind of what? Religious taboo. Right? Some people don't enter religious shrines by eating non-veg. Are you understanding? Right? So that's a kind of religious taboo. For example, Toda sacred diaries. Toda sacred diaries. And the diary men abstain from sex. And the diary men abstain from sex. Next, protective taboos. Protective taboos. Protecting the tribal chief or king, etc. Protecting the tribal chief or king, etc. For example, Polynesian chief, Polynesian tribal chief, or touching Polynesian tribal chief is considered a sin. Touching Polynesian tribal chief is considered a sin. Right? Magico-religious functionaries. Magico-religious functionaries. I will directly dictate an answer. See the lick lena, right? Even though I ask you for 15-20 marks, you can happily manage. Okay, right. Magico-religious functionaries. Magico-religious functionaries are those intermediaries with specialized knowledge regarding magic and religion. There are 5 such functionaries. First, priest. Under priest, write down. Specialized knowledge regarding rituals and prayers. Second, acts as an intermediate between human and supernatural. Next, acquired through apprenticeship. And appointed for religious and political purposes. Right? Now, is it still relevant? Right? Because when I am writing religious functionaries, please ensure I am writing the relevance of each. Right? Put a subheading relevance. To each functionary we will have to write. Right? Because somebody like medicine man has lost the importance. Right? Somebody like, maybe in European nations we still have sorcery and witchcraft. But something like in India, we don't see much. Right? In fact, those are legally banned to a larger extent. Your black magic is a legal crime. So in that context, we'll have to be, right? The other day, like I was going to one more place. I was just looking at the walls. This is in Amirpet. Okay. Walls మీద చూస్తుంటే పెద్ద పెద్ద పోస్టర్లు. And the title of it was దేన్నైనా వశం చేసుకోవాలనుకుంటున్నారా. అరే బాబు, ఇది ఇంటర్వ్యూ ముందు దొరికినా బాగుండేదిరా అనిపించింది. దేన్నైనా వశం చేసుకోవాలనుకుంటున్నారా క్వశ్చన్ మార్క్ అండ్ నీచే వెరీ బిగ్ లిస్ట్. రైట్, ప్రేమ వివాహాలు. రైట్, దట్ వాజ్ ద ఫస్ట్ థింగ్. Amirpet, then I understood, oh, beautiful way of incorporating the context of the subject. Kada, Amirpet కాబట్టి ప్రేమ వివాహాలు ఫస్ట్ వచ్చాయి. అశోక్ నగర్ అంటే ఏమొస్తుంది ఫస్ట్? సివిల్ సర్వీసెస్ కాదు, ఉన్న పిచ్చి పోగొట్టుకోవాలనుకుంటున్నారా? Obviously. See, that is what is the art of answer writing. Writing according to the context. అంతే, వాడు ఏం అడిగాడో ఆ కాంటెక్స్ట్ ఏంటి. సో ఎవరినైనా వసం చే. సో రెలవెన్స్. Shifted from political and restricted to religious function. Derives social respect. institution beyond inheritance at present? Because these days we see even priests belonging to scheduled caste. Yes, you would have seen that this is one of the revolutionary things that has been brought in endowments department, that they opened up things like this. So that means it is not only which is related to caste or inheritance, but it is beyond inheritance, right? Next, shaman. Shaman. A temporary functionary. A temporary functionary for a purpose of material satisfaction. A temporary functionary for a purpose of material satisfaction. Next, works sometimes for good things and even for evil things. Works sometimes for good things and even for evil things. Next, acquired by isolation and it is not inherited. Acquired by isolation and it is not inherited. Next, respected by society at some instances. Respected by society at some instances. Performs medical as well as religious function. Performs medical as well as religious function. As the context demands. As the context demands. Relevance. Relevance. Present in American society. Present in American society. But majorly lost its relevance. Majorly lost its relevance. Due to its temporary nature. Due to its temporary nature. And non-specialization. And non-specialization. Next, medicine man. Medicine man. One with specialized knowledge of pharmacological impacts. One with specialized knowledge of pharmacological impacts of various things. Of various things. Second, performs medical function. Performs medical function. Although a spiritual being. Although a spiritual being. Next, treats for physical and mental well-being of the people. Treats for physical and mental well-being of the people. Relevance. relevance. Due to the development of field of medicine, due to the development of field of medicine, the medicine man lost his relevance, lost in relevance. Even in the treatment of mental ailments, even in the treatment of mental ailments, the psychology and neurological sciences have developed. Psychology and neurological sciences have developed. Next, sorcerer. Sorcerer. Individual manipulation of supernatural forces. Individual manipulation of supernatural forces to harm another person. To harm another person. Next, demonstrable techniques like bone painting of Melanesia, bone painting of Melanesia, bone painting of Melanesia, and Australian Aborigines, bone painting of Melanesia and Australian Aborigines, and object intrusion of APEC Indians, Next, it is acquired under deliberate effort. It is acquired under deliberate effort. Relevance. Strict legal measures have led to the downfall of such specialization. Strict legal measures have led to the downfall of such specialization. Next, witchcraft. It is innate and unconscious psychic power. It is innate and unconscious psychic power. Psycho power కాదు, psychic power. Incorporates non-human power. Motivated by envy and malice. And also bears physical stigma. Relevance. Witchcraft hysteria of Europe. Has been realized as medical illness. And the legal measures like anti-witchcraft bill of Maharashtra. And social sanctions. Diminished such practices. practices. Is this clear? Right? So how will you conclude this? How will you conclude? Indigenous knowledge, you can say, fine. You can conclude to say that although the relevance of the religio or magico-religious functionaries have been lost, but their functional roles continue to exist. Relevance is lost, but their role continues to exist, right? Or it is seen, or the role is still seen in, or maybe you can relate with status and role. Their status is lost, but the role is continuing. Their status is lost because previously you used to see that all of them used to be revered and all of them used to be respected. So their status is lost, but their role is continuing, right? So that can be put there, right? One dynamic aspect of religion. With that, we'll stop the class, right? Religion and the social stability. Religion and social stability. Right? Write down. It is a cognitive function. It's a cognitive function. And it creates categories of understanding outer world. It creates categories of understanding outer world, resulting in a collective conscious. Resulting in a collective conscious. This ensures social order. This ensures social order. According to Emil Durkheim. Next, Talcott Parson states that religion builds value consensus, ensuring a well coordinated feeling, and a social order. Next, Malinowski states religion provides integrative needs, or religion meets integrative needs. That establishes coherence among the members of the society. Next, religion copes up with the disruptive event. Religion copes up with the disruptive event that might threaten the existing social order. Next, Victor Turner. Victor Turner. States that the rituals are part of social process. That the rituals are part of social process. And the symbols promote unity. And the symbols promote unity, order, and motivate people. And motivate people. Next, Marx. Marx states that religion ensures status quo or status quoist nature. Religion ensures status quoist nature. And it prevents the revolution. It prevents the revolution, ensuring social order and stability. Ensuring social order and stability. Right. Next, religion resulting in social change. Religion and social change. The religious ideologies. Religious ideologies counter-cultural hegemony. Counter-cultural hegemony. Counter-cultural hegemony. Right? And this is enhanced through media education. This is enhanced through media and education. Right? Next, religion and women. Religion and women. According to Pew survey, there is a gender gap with religious affiliations. There is a gender gap with religious affiliations. There is a gender gap with religious affiliations. Next, the social role theory of Linton. The social role theory of Linton states that people socially define roles. People socially define roles, ability to adhere to society, ability to adhere to society, and ready to accept the unacceptable forms of behavior. The unacceptable forms of behavior. And the women's belief in religion, is driven by anxiety and uncertainty. Religion stresses the traditional female gender role, of being caring, nurturing, emotional and submissive roles. For example, the concept of Virgin Mary. Virgin Mary. Mary. Right? Put it this way, women is considered as the primary carer of children and husband, and the secondary carer status of women is supported by religion. Women are forced to take care of sick and elderly. That is end of life roles. Due to which women may experience death closely. And religion is a source of comfort and explanation. Next, Simon D. Beaver. States that religion enables women to compensate. Secondary status in the society. For example, glorification of Sati Didi in Junjunu. Right? So that means, if you have to summarize this religion and women, what is it saying? The first thing that it says is, the religion is believed by women more than men. Pew survey, first. The second thing it says is it is purely driven out of uncertainty and fear, right? Then it says that the traditional roles are forced by what material? It is forced by religion. And religion also support the secondary carer status of women. And third thing or the fourth thing it says is what? Right? Simon D. Beaver, what was Simon D. Beaver saying? Or before that, we look at end of life roles. Why do they believe more? Because they see death closely, because they are taking care of the sick and the old. And one more it says is it is to compensate the secondary status. So we are fundamentally looking at what is the relation between religion and women, right?
What are the
Secondary carer functions, like it comes to society. Primary is with respect to family, secondary is with respect to society, right? Now last concept, secularization of religion. Again a very, very dynamic dimension. Secularization of religion. See, I can use this secularization when I am writing an answer on sacred and profane, or when I am just writing upon approaches to religion. I can talk about the new approach towards religion is what? Secularization of religion. Write down. It indicates decline in the influence of religion. It indicates decline in the influence of religion. And Brain Wilson states the religious thinking process and institution lose their social significance. Next, this doesn't mean the religion as a concept is obsolete. But it states new sacred might emerge. In bracket you write Emile Durkheim's understanding of old gods are dead and the new gods emerging. The traditional religion will wane with modern societies. Will wane means fade off. Will wane with modern societies. And the scientific experiments replaces the religious ones. The scientific experiment replaces the religious ones. And the religion in some different form likely to continue. And the science can become the new religion. Michael Mafesol gives a concept of neo-tribe. Michael Mafesol gives a concept of neo-tribe, where the shared identity with declining of traditional religion, and the urban area live in time of pride. and the urban area live in time of pride. The modern society is characterized by small group of people. The modern society is characterized by a small group of people, joined by music, taste, cuisine, etc. Joined by music, taste, cuisine, etc. It is quite similar to traditional tribal groups. Shared identity, in which the totem can be band, football player, etc. The totem can be band, football player, etc. That is the old form replaced by new form. That is the old form replaced by a new form. Are you understanding this? Now, what is the simplest meaning here? When I say secularization of religion, now most of you will misinterpret it. Now, please don't, right? When I talk about secularization of religion, one interpretation people generally come up with, the secular elements of the religion are increasing. No. When you look at the Emile Durkheim's categorical understanding of secularization, what is the fundamental thing is that the traditional elements of religion is decreasing and the old forms of religion are decreasing. But it is not only this, the old forms and the traditional forms of religion are decreasing. They are saying these are being replaced by new forms of religion. For example, we have cricket as a religion in India. Yes, because people consider, why people share the same identity. Don't you think when you see a cricket stadium, everybody will be wearing those t-shirts? Now IPL has emerged as a religion. Now in that context, what is happening is we see a shared identity which is existing with common consciousness. The common consciousness with respect to cricket is, it's a game of cricket, it's a game of competition. So that means what is happening? The older forms are being replaced by new forms. Some music band can be a religion. Football game or football match can be a religion. Right? Ronaldo can be the totem. Sachin Tendulkar can be the totem. Virat Kohli can be the totem. Surya Kumar Yadav can be the totem after that catch. So in that context, what is happening is we see this dimension existing. And secularization is all about, it is not about the institution of religion diminishing. It is about institution of religion being refreshing itself. Older forms being replaced by new forms. But the institution of religion will continue to exist. The forms of religion is changing. I can put this value addition in any equation on religion that I write. Now just imagine I'm saying I'm moving from magic to religion to science. James Fraser's understanding. In this also I can talk about secularization of religion, because what was one dictation that I had given you? I said that science can form the new religion now. Science can form the new religion now. So that is one understanding that you will have to have with respect to this. So in religion as a chapter, I think we have a decent value addition that we have made. Okay. Some basic elements that were there is sacred, profane, and we will cover that as part of test. We will cover that as part of tests, right? Myths and folklore will again cover as part of test. Is this clear? Right? Are you understanding? So please revise. Now we will not be having class tomorrow, day after. We will again have our class on Sunday. Now what you are supposed to do for next 3 days? What are you supposed to do? 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8. Please revise. Please revise. Sunday we will do 2.1, 2.2 and 2.3. 2.1 is culture, society and marriage. Culture, society and marriage. Again a major chunk. Right? Again a major chunk. And after we finish it on Sunday, then on Monday we will do the remaining part, that is the family, kinship, political organizations and economic. In this we are going to only deal with examples. I don't have much of conceptual clarity to be given in this, right, because it's more of factual dimension. Now when they are asking you types of kinship, forms of kinship, we'll have to know what are we supposed to write, but majorly it is going to be supplied with examples and some thinker's perception about each of this, right, because when I look at family, I see structural perception, I see functional perception, right, so those dimensions will have to be seen in this context. I see feminist perception of family, right, so those dimensions will have to be seen with respect to these chapters, right. We would have probably a test on Tuesday. We would have our test probably on Tuesday. With that we will have the first chunk being finished. Then after that we will transition to physical anthropology, right. Then once we do physical anthropology, we will club the archaeology of paper 1, fossils, primates, archaeology of paper 1 and archaeology of paper 2 together. Ethnoarchaeology, those concepts we will club it together and we will have one completion there, because that chunk is very factual. If I bring it in the middle, if I bring it in the starting, you will run away from the class. Is this clear? Yes? Is it making sense now? Okay. Yes. So please, for next 3 days, please revise, write all the PYQs and I'll see you on Sunday. Okay. ट्राइबल रिलीजन क्या होगा बताओ? सेम वही एवोल्यूशनिज्म. अब उसमें डायनामिक पार्ट यही होगा कि क्या, दैट आई विल इंक्लूड द इम्पैक्ट ऑफ रिलीजन ऑन ट्राइबल सोसाइटीज. दैट इज वेयर आई सी द मोनोथिस्टिक डायमेंशन इमर्ज. ठीक है.